Hi Pisces, this is your forecast for the month of September 2017. If you have visited me before, I'd like to thank you for returning, and if you are new to my channel, I'd like to welcome you. This is a general reading for Pisces Sun, Pisces Rising, or Pisces Moon. It might also be helpful for you to watch your rising and moon sign as well. You can join me on Facebook and Instagram for daily insights on tarot and astrology, as well as my pay-per-view channel, vimeo.com/thealchemistastrologer, where you can find on-demand pages for love, finance, and other readings. So Pisces, this first week is action-packed. Things are moving very quickly. There's something that's coming to a head, or you're having to act quickly because of something. You are looking to overcome some type of challenge, and communication could be a key factor, or travel. Whatever it is, events are moving quickly and there's some opportunities on the horizon, and something is manifesting for you. There could be some kind of news, or you could get a go-ahead to move forward on a situation. Others of you, you're going to be dealing with very pushy people, or you're going to find yourself spinning your wheels and rushing fast, going nowhere. But this is going to be a week where you're going to do some thinking. You're taking stock of a situation and you're weighing your options. Maybe you're connecting with others in order to come up with some solutions. And for others of you, things are happening so quickly that you are going to need a time out. This week, the unexpected is in play. And so you won't be able to count on a situation going the way that you had envisioned it, whether it's connected to you personally or some circumstance or dealing with other people. Nothing is going to follow the guideline. So even if you had tried to prepare for this week, if you had a plan in order, that's going to fall by the wayside. And either you've chosen to, release those plans or move on or change them, or you're having to do it because circumstances call for it. You're going to have to step back from a situation and get a clearer view of something. And whatever is going on, it's going to be a trigger for you to have to move more quickly than you had planned to finish up something, to save something, or to get something started, because now you're going to have to accommodate some new circumstances. Now, it could be that you're on the go, you're moving quickly, you're getting a lot done, and in fact, you're accomplishing a whole lot, and you're getting it done quicker than you expected. You're definitely making decisions quickly. But for some of you, this is going to be a week of delays. Delays in communication, disruptions to your plans, some kind of stalling. You may feel as if you're moving slowly. Some things could be appointments broken or canceled, or if you're traveling, maybe there's some problems with transportation. Maybe a trip is canceled or delayed, or hopefully you won't lose a job, but it could be some upsetting news this week for some of you. Somebody may be forcing an issue, or something is out of control, or there's some kind of upsets that are caused by a third party. So for you, then this could be a week where there's some disputes or some jealousy, or again, some disruptions to your plans. You're going to feel as if a situation is getting out of control. It's running away with you, and it's getting hard for you to even keep up with whatever is happening. And so you're just trying to understand a situation and digest the events that are occurring. So something that you have been planning or working on, something is going to do a flip. And whether or not you've been expecting this or not, a situation is going to start to pick up steam and move very quickly, and more so than perhaps you're prepared to deal with. And if you don't get a handle on something, whatever kind of outcome that you want it to happen may not play out that way. So this is about creating, the situation that you want for yourself. Otherwise, the circumstances will determine the outcome and you may be disappointed. Now, the second week, you're looking back over something, perhaps something that was said, or there's something unexpected, and there's a sense of disappointment or loss. Maybe you were just talking about this loss, or maybe you experienced it personally. But there is a sense of, losing something, perhaps a possession, or maybe there's some family problems or some kind of crisis in a relationship that you're dealing with. And so, you're feeling kind of resentful, or you're feeling burned out by situations. You feel pessimistic about what is going on or what has taken place. And it's likely rooted in the past. Something has happened and you're looking back over a situation and you feel a sense of regret. You can only focus on the unhappy aspects of that situation. So you may be brooding. If something came to a head, there could have been an unhappy ending. So this is a week where you have a strong awareness of past events, and you may be too focused on those and stuck in the past. Something is causing you to do a review where you question, you question yourself. You're looking at people and you're scratching your head and you're wondering, how did I get to this place? Why did I make these choices? Do I want this? This doesn't feel good. I don't feel fulfilled the way I want to be. I'm not even sure that the people in my life are the people that I want to be around me. So this is a week where you're feeling very conflicted between your heart and your head, your logic and your emotions. And you may be torturing yourself in some way. So this is a week for you to snap out of that mindset and try to shift your thinking into something more positive. Create an environment for yourself that makes you feel good. Come up with a goal. Maybe you want to take a trip, or you want to treat yourself in some way in order to get away from, your disappointment. So if you are able to shift this week, it's very, very important for you, because then you're going to unplug whatever has been blocked and something is going to begin to flow more smoothly. So this is a week, in spite of how you're feeling, you may not be seeing the full picture. Your pessimism could be exaggerated in some way. This is a week for you to try to harness that personal power and focus your will in order to create some kind of transformation, some kind of alchemy in your life, and get out of this leaded consciousness that's weighing you down. For some of you, this idea of, there's no point to anything. Why should I even try? Every time I put forth the effort, nothing, I don't get the results that I want. Now, maybe this is happening to you, or maybe you are communicating with somebody about that situation. Whatever it is, the more distress, the more pessimism, the more depression, the more sinking into that mindset, the more you're going to worry about your situation and manifest the very thing that you want to get away from. You may be taking on too much, and that's what's weighing you down. And perhaps you're unhappy with your partnerships. They're not bringing you the fulfillment or the satisfaction you feel you deserve. And it could be that you're taking on too much responsibility, or you're trying to fix something or save something or help somebody, when in fact it's their responsibility to look out for self. And the more you expect other people to do for you, likewise, the more you realize that your own success and your own happiness is your responsibility, that your destiny lies in your hands. And that's a powerful thing to realize. So expecting the worst creates the worst. So this is about manifesting with your mind, your heart, your emotions to turn things around and get out of a situation by stepping out of that dark mood and that dark place. This card says to you, take a moment to take some stock. Who are the people that you're involved with? Are you making decisions to involve yourself with disappointing connections? Are you getting re-involved with people who have disappointed you before? Are you participating in habits that don't work for you? Because if you're doing the same things, you're going to be getting the same results. Now, the third week, you have this Five of Pentacles. And so, there's a sense of being rejected or feeling abandoned. There's disappointment. It's being lonely. It's being down and out. Now, for some of you, maybe you're facing some ill health. The Five of Cups could speak to some kind of alcohol issue. So some of you are struggling with health issues, or you're buckling under some kind of financial strain. Again, maybe there's a lack of assets or an uncertainty to your situation. Some of you may have overextended yourself, or your resources are dwindling. And because of what you're experiencing, there's a lack of faith. You feel as if you've been put out in the cold. And so there's some worries due to some setbacks that you are experiencing. It could be, your relationships or your financial situation or any number of things where you have just lost faith in a situation. So this is going to be a week where, again, you're really going to have to bolster yourself, because there are going to be a couple of things that are not going to go your way, or they're not going to move as smoothly or as quickly as you had hoped. And it's probably a combination of both your emotional concerns, and as well as your financial concerns. So you may have started something, and the deeper you've gotten into it, you realize how very complicated or complex it is. Now, again, remember that allowing your worries or your negative attitude is only going to undermine your health. The more concerned and the more upset you become, the more that's going to trigger a health situation for you, or it's going to cause you to become distracted in such a way where you might even have an accident or some kind of close call. So this is a week to stay focused. Now, in the positive, if you are going back over a situation, last week you were disappointed, but again, there was a bridge to cross over that troubled water. And if you changed your mindset, you may realize that, okay, this thing has occurred. It didn't feel good, but you know what? I learned a valuable lesson from it. And even to boot, it may not have cost you as much as you thought it was. It could have been exaggerated pessimism. You may actually come out, more ahead than you thought. So maybe it didn't cost you as much time or as much money or emotionally as you had anticipated. So this is another week where it's a good thing to take care of you. Look out for you. Pamper yourself. There should be a focus in bringing some things into harmony, allowing some things to fall into place. And that could be by either giving up a struggle or finally making some decision that you've been putting off, or the conscious desire and effort put toward seeking some harmony and peace for yourself. Now, for some of you, you're feeling a disappointment with your relationships. Things have come to a head. You may feel as if a situation is pummeling over you, because everybody seems to want a piece of you. Whatever that may be. Maybe it's your money, maybe it's your time, maybe it's your knowledge, maybe it's your emotions. And you're feeling exploited and used and drained, particularly by those closest to you. And so again, allowing that to overwhelm you, you may begin to take some type of risk. And this could be a week where even the smallest risk or using some kind of faulty judgment can put you in the line of fire. It can risk your safety or your finances. And the result of that could be some dire consequences for you. So this is a week where it's important for you to stay on top of the game. This is not a time for you to borrow money, for you to loan money, for you to be on top of your situation. Because you may begin to experience a pileup where there's one delay after another in a situation. Or your work may become particularly demanding or challenging. Or you may be dealing with illness, whether on the part of your physical self or someone else. And because, it's difficult to absorb what's going on, you may be looking to blame a situation. And maybe you're saying, hey, my personal life would run much smoother if I didn't have all this crap going on at work. Or, I could do my work much better if I didn't have all this emotional clutter in my personal life. But this is a week, again, to take responsibility, to try to restore that faith. And by doing so, there may be a turn for the better. This is a time to have some spiritual awareness and to focus on better health, to seeking better situations for yourself materially and financially. So, this is a week for you, again, to take care of self, be positive, and be practical. Now, the final week you have this 10 of Cups, so you're ending on a positive note. Now, some of this, again, may have been attached to your loved ones, the people that are closest to you, your intimate connections. And you may have felt like, there was, this 10 also speaks to excess, so too much emotional drainage. Somebody's just too overbearing, or you're just having to deal with too many things in connection to the people that are close to you. In the positive, this is a happy family. This is finding fulfillment, security, harmony in your relationships, and trusting one another, having a sense of shared well-being. So for some of you, maybe you're focused on promoting some type of optimism with a family member. Maybe you're improving your relationship with family. Maybe there's a good parent-child relationship, or that was the issue. Or, you're focused on your friendships or what your family is like. And perhaps this is a week where you make some happy decision, or that there's some happy occasion where things improve for you and you begin to realize some hopes that you've had for yourself. So this week you feel especially emotional about your family and the people that you love. You're thinking of the memories that you've shared with one another, and you may be longing for some sense of togetherness. So if you had some difficulties over the month, this could be a week where you come together with others and you make a compromise, because there's something bigger at stake. Could even be some issues of illness, or again, financial frustrations. And you're going to have to put the emotional aside in order to tackle these things. And so you come to a compromise. So this could be a week where you or another person takes that first step to heal a situation in order to make it better. And this could be a week where there's some good news connected to your friends or your family. So you may believe in your dreams. Again, maybe you were working on something, you lost faith, you had to try to salvage a situation, and you probably had to do it quickly. And maybe you weren't prepared for all that happened over the course of the last few weeks. But this is still about believing in your dreams, your visions, and trying to make those happen. And part of that, again, is getting real, knowing what is fiction, knowing what is truth, knowing what is reality. And coming to the realization in some cases that, it could be that something is so complicated, so complex, and so many things are interwoven, that it feels almost hopeless about how you're going to find a solution, especially if you haven't been getting along with people or you've suffered some kind of loss. And you may feel this week that negatively, that the people that you care about and that you thought cared about you are the very people that are undermining your happiness and success. In fact, it's the people close to you that seem to be deliberately working against you and what you thought you may have had in common. So for some of you, this is going to be a week, unfortunately, of rude awakenings. And it could be because, again, you're trying to save people. You're trying to comfort people. You're taking on responsibilities that don't belong to you, based on this need to be needed. And that's something to be examined. Why do you need to save this person? And why do you there could be some kind of victim-savior complex taking place that may be feeding some internal need that you have. For others of you, you're tempted by something, and this inability to resist that temptation is going to lead you down the road of self-undoing. So, again, either you're finding some peace and fulfillment with the family, you're coming to terms and trying to move past a very negative situation, or this is a continuation of some problems that you have at home or in your relationship, where you may be dealing with issues of incompatibility, marital conflict, family disagreements, the loss of a friendship, your children rebelling, something that you're having to get past, and it can feel emotionally overwhelming for you. Now, the underlying energy is the Six of Swords. So this is all about moving past these negative, toxic, or abusive situations that no longer work for you. So this could be a month of doing some emotional house cleaning. Now, some of you are dealing with people at a distance. Maybe you're having to travel, or maybe you're dealing with people who are coming out of a period of suffering in some way. Or maybe this is about helping somebody in a time of need. But remember, keep in mind where help is constructive, where someone is actively trying to help themselves or appreciating the help that you're giving. For others of you, this is about putting off things, procrastinating, and moving through some rough waters and not doing a very good job of navigating. This could be a month that focuses on recovery in some way. Again, whether that's emotionally, physically, financially. In the positive, you're letting go of your tension. There's some type of transition, and maybe you're coming to some realizations, some truths about some things that you've been doing in your connections with others. So you want to move away from your problems, your stress, and that may involve severing some ties, or it may involve reconciling some situations. It's going to be a lot easier if you don't resist necessary change and you just go with the flow. So now, some of you, again, this is a trip, or maybe you're relocating, but for many of you, the trip is simply moving on from a negative, abusive situation. So, either personally or professionally or otherwise, up until this point, you have been going in a circle. You've been going round and round. There's a sense that you haven't made any progress, and this month, something is coming to a head. And it's going to feel very familiar. It's going to be a situation where you want to throw your hands up in the air and feel as if like, no, not again. Here we are, one more time. And so you're going to want to move past this. You want to understand other people. You want to understand yourself. You want to understand this situation because you want to wrap this up. It's gone on long enough. However, again, it's very complicated. There are a lot of variables, a lot of key players, a lot of things at stake, and it's going to require some patience on your part to muddle through this. So some of you are going back, visiting a place from your past. others of you are returning to past situations. And, whatever it is, if you open yourself up to the lessons involved, it's going to change you in positive ways in spite of how uncomfortable it may feel on the front end. So it's going to change your perspective, the way you see life. It's going to broaden you and open you up. Now, here's the good thing. If you have been dealing with people who are emotionally draining, they're psychic or emotional vampires, they're taking up your time, they're spending up your resources, they're draining you emotionally, this is going to be a month, if you focus and get in gear, where you can remove yourself from pointless situations or bad habits that up until this point have been blocking your personal progress and have been stopping you from doing the things that make you feel good about life. This is the time to reclaim your life, to, get rid of the clutter and focus on the things that bring you joy, your dreams, your goals, the people that do make you feel good about life. So for some of you, you're going to have some unexpected encounters where some people unexpectedly come back into your life. This is going to be a challenging month where who you are and what your character is going to be tested. So this could feel like a setup for you where someone or something disappoints you one more time. But remember, it's because you really need to be thinking about who you're involved with or who you continuously get re-involved with in spite of their track record, in spite of their history. So some relationships, some circumstances, maybe some medical issues or some legal issues, some things that you thought were wrapped up and put to rest are going to show up unexpectedly, and you're not going to be pleased about them. There's going to be a knock at the door. You're going to open it, and it's going to be your past staring you in the face. So this could be a month, if you're not careful, where you leave yourself open to influence. You're vulnerable to the wrong influence of others. And because of that, if you allow them to drain you and undermine your success, you're likely to have to start over from square one. So this is going to be a month about knowing when you're wasting too much time, too much energy, too much effort, and putting your faith in people or situations that are wrong for you and are likely to let you down and keep you in a cycle where you keep making these same mistakes. Now, either you're coming to that realization or maybe you're helping someone else. This is also going to be a month that focuses on invitations from others. Now, this could be the invitation to socialize or start a romance or begin a friendship or an opportunity or just simply getting out into the community. But again, the challenge is to recognize whether those connections have true merit or they're simply a waste of your time that are keeping you from things that really mean something to you. So this is going to be a month where you have the ability to clarify, to repair, to mend, to improve a situation or a connection in order to move forward so that you can honor your commitments in a better way. And it's going to also center around your desire for recognition and whether you are actively working toward your success or you're in many ways undercutting your own success by your behavior. So this is going to be an emotionally challenging month. Now, the good news is there are no majors in this reading, and so you largely have control over your situation. And even if it doesn't feel like it, you have some options available to you that perhaps you're not considering. It's going to center around your partnerships and your attachment to people, to things, to situations. And what are you getting out of it? Is there a return on it, or you're just wasting your time? And it's likely that there are going to be some outer forces at work. Some changes are going to come to you specifically because of other people and their circumstances. Now, maybe you are the stabilizing force that is, giving a situation grounding when you're under fire, or you have the ability to maintain that stability when you're under fire. Now, there are some instances where your reason or your logic may fail to override the indulgent emotional self. But there is some strength and some fortitude this month that's going to provide you that grounding and allow you to redress any imbalance. All right, Pisces, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. And of course, you can always book a personal reading at thealchemistastrologer.com.